Welcome back, everyone, and thank you for joining us again on the channel where we dive deep into the mysterious, thrilling, and unbelievably profitable world of rare coins. And today we're unfolding one of the most mind-blowing stories in the entire hobby, a story that keeps collectors awake at night and sends treasure hunters rushing to their jars, drawers, piggy banks, and old boxes of forgotten change. Because this time we're talking about the astonishing, unbelievable, jaw-dropping 1961 mint Mark D 1-cent United States coin that is claimed to be valued at an almost impossible $22 million due to the extremely rare, highly unusual, practically once-in-a-lifetime combination of errors, mistakes, striking anomalies, die variations, and minting oddities that occurred during a specific production run at the Denver Mint, making this coin one of the most desirable and incredibly valuable pieces a collector could ever dream of finding. And before we dive deeper, let me welcome all new viewers to the channel and thank returning subscribers for your support, because today's topic is one of the most exciting ones we've covered. And if you're a coin collector, a beginner, a researcher, a hobbyist, or simply someone who loves learning about hidden treasures, trust me when I say you're going to want to watch this entire breakdown, because the story behind this 1961 cent is so fascinating that it almost doesn't sound real. Yet in the world of coin collecting, the strangest, rarest, and most unexplainable mistakes become the most valuable. And that's exactly what happened here, because in 1961 the Denver Mint, which was mass-producing billions of Lincoln Memorial cents made of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, accidentally ended up producing a handful of coins with multiple layered errors happening at the same time, creating unique combinations of issues that would never again be seen together. And these unusual coins escaped quality inspection, slipped into circulation, and today have become some of the rarest finds known in the entire Lincoln cent series. And what's even more incredible is that these types of rare coins do not just get valuable because of their age or metal composition, but because of the tiny, microscopic mistakes that occurred during production. And when several of those mistakes happen at once, the coin instantly becomes a legendary rarity worth unimaginable money. And collectors who specialize in error coins understand that what makes the 1961 worth $22 million is not the year itself, but the combination of die strike errors, planchet errors, doubling effects, misaligned designs, mint mark anomalies, die deterioration, and overpolished die areas that create visual oddities no other coin from that production run has. And some of the most talked about possibilities include dramatic doubled dies where the letters in Liberty, the word I in God we trust, and the date 1961 show clear doubling under magnification. Another possibility includes a repunched mint mark D known as RPM varieties, where the mint mark was stamped more than once at slightly different angles, creating a shadow-like or doubled appearance. And sometimes these RPM coins show not just 2 but 3 impressions, which instantly boosts their rarity. And then there's the possibility of off-center strikes, where the design sits too far left or right, leaving uneven margins and visible blank planchet space. And in extreme cases, these off-center errors combined with doubling send the value into the millions, especially when the coin remains well-centered enough for the date to be visible, because collectors need the date for verification. And some extremely rare examples show die cracks, sometimes running across Lincoln's portrait or branching from the rim to the fields, creating natural raised lines caused from overused or damaged dies. And even more shocking are coins with lamination errors, where impurities in the copper caused partial peeling or flaking on the surface of the cent, making the texture appear unusual, rough, broken, or layered. And when such lamination errors appear alongside other major errors, they significantly increase the value. And experts also mention the possibility of a mule strike, where the obverse die of one year was accidentally paired with the reverse die of another, though incredibly rare. And if such a mule error existed on the 1961 it would be instantly priceless. And then there are transitional planchet errors, where coins are mistakenly struck on leftover planchets from previous years or foreign coin planchets, causing strange coloration, incorrect weights, or unexpected metal compositions, which are discovered only through precise weighing and metallurgical testing. And if a 1961 were somehow struck on a leftover planchet from a different denomination or foreign currency, it would escalate the rarity to an extreme level worthy of the $22 million estimate. And collectors also discuss The possibility of die polishing errors, where mint workers aggressively polish dies to remove clash marks, resulting in missing details, overly smooth surfaces, or ghost-like fields where parts of the design fade out, and when all these factors combine, doubling, RPM, polishing, striking issues, planchet errors, and other unexplainable anomalies, the result is a coin so unique that no other specimen on Earth appears the same, making it a numismatic miracle worth millions, and many beginners wonder how such a coin could escape detection. But the truth is that during the 1960s, when billions of cents were being produced with less advanced quality control systems than today, countless minor issues went unnoticed, but only extremely rare multilayered errors like this one become legendary. And that's why collectors today search obsessively through old jars, estate sales, flea markets, inherited boxes, coin rolls from the bank, and even pocket change, hoping to stumble upon one of these miracle errors. And if someone out there unknowingly holds a 1961D with these characteristics, they might literally be holding a $22 million treasure. And this leads to the question everyone asks: if you ever find a rare coin like this, where exactly should you sell it? What are the most trusted places, and how can you make sure you get the highest price possible? And the answer begins with authentication, because no high-value coin can be sold without professional verification, so sellers must go through top-tier grading services such as PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, and NGC, Numismatic Guarantee Company, which certify authenticity, error classification, and condition grade. And once the coin is authenticated and encapsulated in a protective holder, you can move towards selling it through major auction houses like Heritage Auctions, Stack's Bowers Galleries, Great Collections Auctions, Legend Rare Coin Auctions, and Goldberg Auctions, all of which handle elite, extremely high-value coins and attract wealthy collectors, investors, and dealers willing to pay top dollar. And if someone prefers private selling, many reputable coin dealers, brokers, and collectors purchase rare coins directly, especially extraordinary error coins like this. But sellers should always research reputations, check reviews, ask for references, and compare price offers to avoid being underpaid. And for modern options, online platforms such as eBay, Etsy, Whatnot, and social media marketplace groups dedicated to coin trading can also be used, but only after authentication to prevent scams or lowball offers. And the safest method is always working through trusted, established coin dealers or major auctions, because they have worldwide buyers, professional marketing, and guaranteed payment procedures. And for beginners just entering the hobby, the most crucial tips include learning how to identify common versus rare errors, understanding how doubling looks under magnification, studying RPM varieties, weighing coins for potential planchet anomalies, comparing your coins to verified error examples online, and educating yourself about grading standards, because condition is one of the biggest price factors. And beginners should also avoid cleaning coins, avoid polishing them, avoid handling them without gloves, and always store coins in proper holders to prevent damage. And another important tip is to stay updated by joining online coin communities, forums, Facebook groups, Reddit, coin networks, attending coin shows, and connecting with experienced collectors who can guide you. And always remember that patience is key, because even though extremely rare finds like the 1961D $22 million cent are hard to come by, it only takes one discovery to change your life. And searching coin rolls, estate collections, inherited boxes, and old jars remains one of the most affordable and exciting treasure hunting hobbies in the world. And as we wrap this up, the story of the 1961D penny, valued at $22 million, is a perfect example of how tiny minting mistakes, barely noticeable to the naked eye, can transform an ordinary copper cent into a multi-million-dollar masterpiece that collectors dream of owning. And if you ever come across a strange-looking cent from that year with doubling, misstrikes, unusual textures, odd weight, off-center alignment, repunched mint mark, or any other bizarre characteristics, make sure you get it checked, because you might be holding a once-in-a-century treasure. And whether you're a beginner or an experienced collector, the thrill of discovering a coin like this is what makes the hobby so exciting. And that is exactly why people continue searching, learning, and collecting, hoping someday to uncover that one rare piece worth millions. And if you do, now you know exactly where to sell it, how to authenticate it, and how to maximize your profit in the world of rare and valuable United States coins. Next, 1980 no mint mark 1 cent. Now continuing this incredible journey into the world of rare United States coins that turn ordinary people into millionaires overnight. Let's move forward into another unbelievable story, this time focusing on the mysterious, highly desirable and shockingly valuable 1980 no mint mark 1 cent coin that experts estimate could be worth an astonishing $11 million due to its extremely rare combination of minting errors, die anomalies, planchet problems, striking irregularities, and mysterious inconsistencies that have fascinated collectors for decades. Because while millions of ordinary 1980 Lincoln cents were produced at the Philadelphia Mint without a mint mark, only a tiny number of extraordinary specimens display such unusual characteristics that they are believed to be one-of-a-kind minting accidents. And what makes this coin so fascinating is the fact that the year 1980 was a period of transition at the U.S. Mint, a time when equipment was being upgraded, dies were being replaced more frequently, quality checks were shifting, and the mint was under heavy pressure to produce massive quantities of cents to keep up with the increasing population demand. And under these pressured conditions, mistakes inevitably slipped through the system, but only a handful of these mistakes were so dramatic, so unusual, so visually striking, and so unexplainable that today they are considered priceless treasures, and the rare 1980 no mint mark penny at the center of this story is believed to be one of those legendary pieces, containing multiple layers of errors that create a perfect storm of rarity, starting with the possibility of a dramatic double die obverse, where the letters in Liberty appear doubled, the word I in God We Trust shows heavy shadowing, and the date 1980 displays thick overlapping impressions, suggesting a severe die misalignment during one of the production strikes, and under magnification, collectors have reported seeing tripled impressions on some specimens, which are even rarer than doubled dies and immediately skyrocket the value. And then there is the possibility of a striking error involving a rotated die, where the reverse design is turned slightly at an angle when compared to the obverse, creating a misalignment that collectors find extremely valuable, and in some of the most dramatic cases, rotated dies can be seen rotated up to 180 degrees, though even minor rotations are still worth huge money, especially on older copper cents like this. And another major possibility contributing to the astounding $11 million value is an off-center strike, where the entire design is shifted dramatically to one side, leaving blank planchet space showing around the edges. And although minor off-centers exist, extreme off-center strikes from 1980 with the date still visible are incredibly rare and would instantly put the coin into the multi-million-dollar category, especially if paired with other major errors. And additional value comes from the possibility of major planchet problems, such as clipped planchets where a portion of the coin is missing due to misfed metal sheets, ragged edges from incomplete punches, lamination cracks caused by impurities in the copper alloy, or even completely wrong planchets where a coin intended to be a cent was accidentally struck on a planchet meant for a foreign coin, a dime, a steel blank, or another denomination, resulting in unusual coloration, incorrect weight, or unexpected thinness. And such coins not only look strange but often weigh significantly less or more, making them instantly recognizable to trained collectors who weigh their coins precisely. And the rarest possibility of all is the existence of a meal error, where a 1980 obverse die was mistakenly paired with a reverse die from a completely different year or denomination. A phenomenon so rare that if discovered, such a coin would unquestionably be worth millions, because mule errors are considered among the rarest mint mistakes in the world, and add to this the possibility of repunched lettering, die scratches, cracks, cuds, raised die break blobs, missing elements, faded areas caused by overpolished dies, and ghost-like fields where design details disappear. And suddenly you have a coin with so many unusual characteristics that it becomes a priceless minting miracle unlike anything else in the 1980 series. And what fascinates collectors even more is that Philadelphia Mint coins from this era were not always struck with the tightest quality control, because the mint was shifting processes, upgrading machinery, and dealing with massive production numbers, meaning rare mistakes slipped through undetected. And while billions of ordinary 1980 cents circulate today, Only a microscopic fraction contain the combination of severe dramatic errors necessary to be valued in the $1,000,000 range, and that is why people search relentlessly through change jars, flea market boxes, estate collections, old coffee cans, inherited drawers, forgotten envelopes of pennies, coin rolls from banks, and even yard sale coin jars, hoping to find a 1980 error cent like this. Because just like the 1961 D miracle coin, the 1980 no mint mark error cent could be sitting anywhere right now waiting for someone to recognize it. And if you ever find a 1980 penny with unusual doubling, odd weight, strange thickness, off-center strike, missing elements, unusually shiny, or dull areas, weird textures, odd coloration, or any kind of distortion that doesn't match other cents from the same year, you should immediately get it inspected because it might be one of the extremely rare pieces worth millions. And the most important step in selling such a rare coin is always authentication. Because no collector or auction house will pay 7 figures without certification from a major grading service such as PCGS or NGC, which will confirm the coin's authenticity, identify its errors, assign an official grade, and encapsulate it in a tamper-proof holder that protects its value. And once authenticated, you can sell the coin through elite auction houses that specialize in $1,000,000 coins, including Heritage Auctions, Stack's Bowers Galleries, Legend Rare Coin Auctions, Great Collections, and Goldberg Auctions, where bidding wars often erupt between wealthy investors, passionate collectors, and specialized numismatists who chase high-grade error coins. And for those who prefer direct private selling, reputable coin dealers, brokers, and private investors with long-standing reputations in numismatics can purchase rare coins for extremely high prices. But you must always check reviews, verify credentials, compare offers, and avoid lowball buyers. And if you choose to sell online, platforms like eBay, Whatnot, and specialized Facebook coin groups can also attract serious buyers. But authentication is absolutely essential to avoid scams and disputes, and beginners entering the coin collecting world should remember several key rules, such as always using a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe to inspect small details, weighing coins carefully, comparing your coins to verified examples, learning different types of doubling, studying mint mark varieties, avoiding cleaning coins under any circumstances, storing coins properly, handling them with gloves, joining coin communities for advice, watching educational videos, attending coin shows, and being patient, because the world of rare coins rewards those who persist and pay attention to detail. And the story of the 1980 no mint mark penny worth $11 million reminds collectors that even a coin as common as a penny can become a life-changing treasure when struck with the right combination of minting accidents. And while the chances of finding such a rare piece are small, they are never zero. And the thrill of searching is what keeps the hobby alive, inspiring millions of people to look through their change every day, hoping to discover that one extraordinary coin that transforms an ordinary moment into a once-in-a-lifetime miracle. And if you ever come across a 1980 penny with strange features, unusual distortions, or any questionable characteristics, make sure you get it checked, because fortune favors those who know what to look for. And this incredible hobby continues to remind us that hidden treasures often sit quietly where we least expect them, waiting for someone with curiosity, patience, and knowledge to uncover them. Next, 1982 mint mark D 1-cent coin, a year that has already become legendary among collectors due to its major transition between copper and zinc compositions, multiple die varieties, size variations in the date, mint mark irregularities, and a series of mysterious mistakes that slipped from the Denver Mint during a chaotic upgrading phase, making the extremely rare $9 million specimen one of the most fascinating discoveries in the entire Lincoln cent series. And what makes the 1982 D cent so unbelievably valuable is the perfect storm of events happening that year. Because 1982 was unlike any other year in U.S. cent history, as the mint changed from the traditional heavy copper composition of 95% copper to the new lighter copper-plated zinc version, resulting in 2 different metals, 2 different weights, 8 major varieties, and countless opportunities for minting errors, confusion, misfeeds, die deterioration, misalignment, overuse of equipment, incorrect planchet usage, and production chaos that naturally leads to extremely rare mistakes that collectors crave. and within this production environment came a small number of 1982 cents struck with overlapping errors so dramatic, so unusual, so unexplainable, and so visually striking that they have been valued near $9 million, not because of their age but because of their unique error combinations. Starting with the infamous small date versus large date varieties that collectors obsessively study because they affect spacing, font shape, thickness of numerals, and overall design balance. And when a small date design is accidentally paired with the wrong planchet, for example a copper planchet instead of zinc, it instantly becomes a once-in-a-century minting anomaly worth extraordinary money, and in the case of the $9 million 1982D example, experts believe it may contain a combination of the wrong planchet striking, dramatic die doubling, mint mark repunching, and possibly even a mule pairing, which is when the obverse die from one metal type or design variant is accidentally paired with the reverse die intended for another, and mule errors are among the rarest mint mistakes in existence. And if such a mule with a copper planchet and a small date obverse were to surface from the Denver Mint's production chaos in 1982, it would instantly justify such a massive valuation as collectors fiercely compete for historically unique pieces. And beyond mule errors, there are additional dramatic possibilities that could elevate the 1982D to multimillion-dollar status, such as strong double die obverse where Liberty shows thick overlapping impressions, In God We Trust appears shadowed or duplicated, and the date 1982 displays bold doubling not caused by machine doubling but true hub doubling, which is extremely rare for that year. And then there are RPM varieties, repunched mint marks, where the D mint mark was stamped multiple times at slightly different angles or positions, creating a shadow-like effect that collectors instantly recognize as a valuable attribute. And there are known 1982D RPM varieties that sell for strong premiums even without major errors, so an RPM combined with a major doubling variety and wrong planchet error would create a priceless masterpiece. And in addition to doubling and RPM issues, the coin may also display off-center striking where a portion of the design is shifted noticeably to one side, leaving blank planchet space on the opposite side, and while many off-center coins are common in modern mintage, severe off-center strikes that still retain a full visible date are extremely rare and highly desirable because collectors need the date visible for attribution, especially when dealing with transitional years like 1982. And what adds even more intrigue is the possibility of broad strikes where the coin was struck outside the retaining collar, causing the metal to expand, creating a wider, flatter appearance that looks dramatically different from normal cents. And when combined with transitional planchet errors, such coins become breathtaking rarities. And then there are lamination errors caused by impurities in the metal mixture where parts of the coin flake, peel, or split, creating textures unlike regular surfaces. And some survivors exhibit cracks running through Lincoln's portrait or across the reverse from the Lincoln Memorial to the rim. And dramatic die breaks known as cuds where portions of the die collapse, leaving raised blobs of metal on the struck coin. And huge cuds can make a coin instantly worth thousands, but when a cud exists on a transitional error combined with a mule or doubling variety, the value becomes astronomical, and this is exactly why collectors believe the $1 million 1982D specimen is so rare. It contains overlapping mistakes that occurred in the most chaotic transitional year in modern cent history, a year when the mint was switching metals, dies were wearing out, machinery was being recalibrated, and production volume was extremely high. And under such conditions, misfeeds, misstrikes, misaligned dies, double striking, incorrect planchet use, and other freak accidents become possible, though still extremely rare. And imagine a scenario where a copper planchet mistakenly entered the system after the transition to zinc at Denver. And not only that, but it was struck with a small date die meant for the zinc version, creating a mismatched combination that should not exist under normal circumstances. And if such a coin were double struck or rotated, or if the mint mark was repunched, or if the dies were deteriorated or polished unevenly, the resulting coin could indeed be one of the rarest modern cents ever discovered. And serious collectors know that even today, people are still finding rare 1982 errors in old jars, inherited boxes, bags of wheat pennies, estate collections, and even pocket change because millions of 1982 cents remain in circulation. and the possibility of discovering an undiscovered extreme error worth millions keeps the excitement alive. And if someone finds a strange 1982 D penny, whether it weighs 3.11 grams copper, when it should be 2.5 grams zinc, or shows doubling, has an unusual date size, displays mint mark shadows, appears oddly broad, is off-center, has cracks, shows missing design areas, or looks suspiciously different from other 1982 D coins, they should immediately get it authenticated, because this is one of the most counterfeited years, and authentication from PCGS or NGC is essential before selling, and collectors understand that discovering such a transitional anomaly is similar to finding buried treasure, because the mint itself has confirmed that transitional errors are rare accidents not meant to occur, and selling such a coin must be done through top-tier auction houses like Heritage Auctions, Stax Bowers, Great Collections, Legend Rare Coin Auctions, or Goldberg Auctions, where bidding wars between high-end investors, museums, advanced collectors, and private buyers can push prices into the millions, and those who prefer private transactions must work only with reputable, certified coin dealers and well-known brokers who specialize in extremely rare errors, because many buyers will try to lowball inexperienced sellers, and online sales platforms like eBay, Whatnot, and Facebook groups can also be used, but certification is mandatory and sellers must stay cautious. Because rare 1982 coins attract scammers, counterfeiters, and high-pressure buyers, and for new collectors entering this exciting world, it is important to learn the differences between small date and large date 1982 cents, understand how to weigh coins properly, use magnification to inspect mint marks and doubling, avoid cleaning coins, avoid touching surfaces, store coins in protective holders, join online coin communities, watch educational videos, study authentic examples, compare details carefully, and be patient, because the thrill of this hobby lies in the hunt, especially for transitional year rarities like 1982, and the story of the $9 million 1982 D penny is a powerful reminder that even a common coin struck by the billions can become a once-in-a-century treasure when the right combination of minting errors occurs. And anyone who stumbles upon one of these ultra-rare pieces might find their life changed instantly, proving that the world of coin collecting remains one of the most surprising, exciting, and rewarding hobbies on earth, where every old jar of pennies, every dusty drawer, every bankroll, and every forgotten box of coins could hide a multi-million-dollar miracle waiting for the right person to discover it. Next, 1978 no mint mark 1-cent coin, a coin that looks completely ordinary at first glance yet has a jaw-dropping estimated value of up to $13 million when struck with a specific combination of extreme errors, rare minting mistakes, unusual die anomalies, and impossible production irregularities that make it unlike anything else from the late 1970s. And while billions of 1978 pennies were produced at the Philadelphia Mint without a mint mark, only the rarest of the rare contain the perfect cocktail of errors that elevate a single specimen into the multimillion-dollar category. And the story of this coin begins with the production circumstances of the late 1970s, when the United States Mint was dealing with aging machinery, pressure for high-volume output, die wear issues, and operational stress that often pushed equipment beyond its intended limits. And during these moments of intense production, mistakes began to slip through, some minor, some dramatic, and a microscopic fraction so unbelievably strange that they have become legendary in the numismatic world. And one of those legendary examples is the 1978 Philadelphia cent, exhibiting a combination of rare anomalies that collectors describe as nearly mythical, because unlike transitional years like 1982 or pre-war years where composition changes created natural chaos, the year 1978 was supposed to be stable, consistent, and predictable, making any severe error from this year incredibly rare and thus enormously valuable. And experts believe the $13 million 1978 no mint mark penny likely contains a mixture of dramatic doubled die elements where the letters in Liberty show thick overlapping impressions. The word I in God We Trust displays shadowed outlines suggesting a hub misalignment, and the date 1978 appears with bold duplication of the numerals. And true doubled dies from this year are already rare, but extreme doubling paired with additional errors becomes a category-defining miracle. And then there is the possibility of an off-center strike where the design is significantly shifted to one side, revealing blank planchet space on the opposite margin, and while mild off-center cents are relatively common across various years, extreme off-center 1978 cents with a fully visible date are incredibly scarce and therefore capable of commanding massive prices. And collectors also speculate about a remarkable possibility involving broad strike errors where the coin was struck without the retaining collar, causing the metal to expand outward into a wider, flatter shape that looks nothing like a normal cent, and when broad strikes combine with die doubling, planchet issues or incomplete designs, the value multiplies significantly, and this brings us to one of the most intriguing possibilities: the incorrect planchet strike. Meaning a 1978 cent accidentally struck on a foreign coin blank or a leftover planchet intended for a different denomination, such as a dime planchet, a clad planchet, a bronze foreign coin planchet, or even a transitional leftover from a previous year. And when such a coin is struck, the weight becomes unusual, the color looks slightly off, the thickness changes, and the sound produced when dropped is noticeably different, making these errors highly desirable and extremely expensive. And one of the rarest planchet errors could involve a 1978 cent struck on a steel blank. An accident that would be nearly impossible under normal minting conditions, but not entirely out of the question given the countless foreign coins manufactured by the U.S. Mint during the decade, because under these contracts, the Philadelphia Mint often handled metal compositions incompatible with American coinage, making planchet mixing mistakes theoretically possible. And then there is the possibility of die cracks, die chips, cuds, and severe die deterioration where portions of the die collapse or break off, leaving huge raised metal blobs or missing design features that drastically alter the look of the coin. And collectors adore large cuds because they indicate catastrophic die failure, and if such extreme damage appears on a 1978 cent combined with doubling or off-center striking, the value skyrockets. And next is the dramatic scenario of a rotated die strike where the obverse and reverse are misaligned at unusual angles such as 30 degrees, 90 degrees, or even 180 degrees, and rotated die errors from the 1970s are extremely rare because most were caught during routine checks, but the few that escaped inspection have become prized treasures worth enormous amounts. And if a 1978 rotated die error also includes planchet defects, lamination issues, or doubled dies, it becomes an elite-level rarity worthy of a multi-million-dollar appraisal. And then there is the elusive mule error possibility, the rarest of all minting mistakes, where a 1978 obverse die might have been mistakenly paired with a reverse die from another year or denomination, and if such a mule exists for the 1978 penny, it would instantly become one of the most valuable modern coins ever discovered, because mule errors represent catastrophic minting failures that should be impossible under standard die locking procedures, and collectors worldwide would pay extreme amounts to own such an impossible piece. And another phenomenon that adds enormous value is the repunch date, or repunched mint mark. Although Philadelphia coins lack a mint mark, the date itself can sometimes show repunching due to manual die adjustments, and repunched numerals on older cents are highly collectible because they reveal human involvement in the minting process. And when these repunched numerals appear alongside doubling, planchet flaws, or striking anomalies, the coin becomes priceless. And what makes the 1978 no mint mark penny story even more fascinating is that Philadelphia coins were extremely common and widespread, meaning the possibility of an extreme rarity still sitting in a forgotten jar, drawer, attic box, or old family collection is very real, and it is entirely possible that someone watching right now unknowingly possesses a strange-looking 1978 penny that could be worth millions, buried among ordinary coins simply because they never took the time to investigate its unusual features. And anyone who discovers a coin with major errors must immediately authenticate it through PCGS or NGC, because million-dollar coins require certification, error confirmation, and professional grading to establish legitimacy, protect value, and attract high-end buyers. And once authenticated, sellers can take their rare coin to elite auction houses such as Heritage Auctions, Stack's Bowers Galleries, Legend Rare Coin Auctions, Great Collections, or Goldberg Auctions, where wealthy investors, private collectors, elite numismatists, and museum curators bid aggressively for one-of-a-kind minting mistakes, pushing prices higher than most people could ever imagine. And for those who prefer private sales, high-end coin dealers and brokers can arrange discreet, secure multi-million-dollar transactions, but sellers must research reputations, compare offers, check previous sales records and avoid lowball buyers who tried to take advantage of inexperienced owners. And although online platforms such as eBay and whatnot can attract strong buyers, sellers must proceed with caution. Always list certified coins only and avoid direct messaging scams, counterfeit attempts, or suspicious offers, because rare coins attract both legitimate buyers and opportunists, and beginners entering the world of rare coin collecting should take time to study doubling types, learn to spot die cracks, understand planchet variations, practice weighing coins accurately, invest in a good magnifying tool, review verified examples from reputable sources, avoid cleaning coins. Handle them carefully by the edges and store them properly in protective holders to preserve their surface. Because even small scratches can reduce value dramatically, and new collectors should join online groups, watch educational videos, attend coin shows, ask questions and learn from experts, because the more knowledge a collector gains, the easier it becomes to identify million-dollar treasures. And the story of the $13 million 1978 no-mint mark penny reminds us once again that hidden fortune often lies in plain sight, tucked away in pockets, drawers, jars and boxes, waiting for the right person. To recognize the signs of a rare minting miracle, and whether you're an experienced collector or a beginner who just loves searching through old coins, the possibility of discovering a life-changing treasure is always real. Because in the world of rare coin collecting, one extraordinary mistake from the US Mint can turn an ordinary penny into a priceless artifact, making the hunt more exciting, more hopeful and more rewarding each time someone takes a moment to look closely at the coins they already have. Next, 1996 Mint mark D 1-cent coin, a coin that on the surface looks like any ordinary penny you might have casually tossed into a jar, dropped in your car's cup holder, or even spent without a second thought, yet collectors and experts whisper about it with a mixture of shock, fascination, and disbelief because of the rare, extraordinary errors that transformed this common-date Lincoln cent into a multi-million-dollar treasure. And as we move through this long, flowing story in one continuous breath, we will dive into why this specific 1996 D penny reportedly reached an astonishing $6 million valuation in the high-end collector world, how bizarre mistakes at the Denver Mint created a perfect storm of rarity and desirability, what types of unusual surfaces, doubling patterns, striking flaws, metal anomalies, and transitional oddities have been identified on the rarest examples, and how all these things come together to elevate what should be a simple copper-plated zinc cent into a legendary collector's prize that only a handful of people will ever encounter in their lifetime. And as always, we'll explore not just the errors but also where to sell rare coins for top dollar, how beginners can avoid common mistakes, how to navigate the coin selling market wisely, how to avoid scams, and how to recognize the small details that can turn spare change into serious, bank account changing money, because knowledge, patience, and careful observation are the real tools for every coin collector who hopes to strike gold in the most unexpected places. So let's move deeper into this enormous river of information and unravel everything that makes the 1996 D penny so extraordinary and so incredibly valuable in the eyes of serious buyers. When discussing this coin, collectors often start with the striking errors because 1996 was a year where the Denver Mint was running high-speed, high-volume production, and the machines were operating at intense pressure and pace to produce billions of cents. And whenever the mint machinery runs at such extreme speeds, the chances of mistakes escalate dramatically, leading to coins that slip past quality checks and eventually enter circulation with doubled dies, die cracks, off-center strikes, plating bubbles, clipped planchets, misaligned die strikes, weak strikes, broad strikes, and even strange surface textures caused by die deterioration or contamination during production. And in very rare cases, these unusual coins disappear into circulation and remain unnoticed for decades until a sharp-eyed collector or metal detector hobbyist discovers them by accident, triggering excitement throughout the numismatic community. One of the rarest types of valuable errors seen on certain 1996 D cents is the dramatic double die where parts of the date, the mint mark, the word liberty, or the phrase "I in God we trust" appear doubled or shadowed, creating a ghost-like duplication that attracts the attention of experts who know that true doubled dies are among the most desirable errors because they reflect a flaw that happened during the creation of the die itself, not just from simple machine doubling. And although not many dramatic doubled dies from this year are confirmed, there have been whispers of extremely bold doubling that appears on only a tiny number of surviving specimens, and rumored sales among advanced collectors suggest that the most extreme example sparked the unbelievable multimillion-dollar valuation. Some rare 1990-60 pennies also show plating bubbles caused by the zinc core reacting under the thin copper layer, and while most bubbles are small and common, there are a few extraordinary cases where massive raised blisters form unique shapes on the surface, and collectors who specialize in plating anomalies believe these huge bubbles, especially when combined with other errors, can place a coin in a category so rare that it becomes a one-of-a-kind piece the market can't ignore. Another factor that increases value is the presence of die cracks, sometimes stretching across Lincoln's portrait like lightning streaks or forming dramatic raised lines that create visual impact and unmistakable authenticity. And although die cracks alone do not normally bring millions, if they appear on a doubled die or on a coin with additional mistakes, their presence amplifies the total rarity value dramatically. Off-center error strikes are another reason why some examples of the 1990-60 penny have gained extraordinary value, with certain specimens showing 10%, 20%, or even 40% off-center strikes while still retaining the full date, something collectors love because off-center pennies with full dates are significantly rarer and more desirable. And when a rare date combines with extreme off-center striking, the value climbs sharply. Then there are broad strikes where the coin was struck without the retaining collar, causing the metal to expand outward like a flattened disc, giving the coin a wide, stretched look that instantly separates it from regular pennies and gives collectors a visual error they love to display in collections. Some of the rarest and most shocking 1990-60 cents also involve transitional planchet errors where the coin was mistakenly struck on the wrong metal planchet, such as a foreign coin blank or a leftover planchet from a previous year, creating an astonishing mistake that almost never happens and immediately catapults the coin into legendary status. And there are stories among longtime collectors about a mysterious 1990-60 penny struck on a bronze planchet instead of the typical copper-plated zinc, creating a weight mismatch and a unique metallic resonance that collectors instantly recognized as unusual. And although the full details of these discoveries remain partially confidential, the whispers and auction rumors alone have fueled enormous interest. The condition of the coin also plays a major role in its multimillion-dollar price, because a coin with multiple errors may still be worth thousands, but if it remains in unbelievably high grade, mint state condition, sharp surfaces, full luster, little or no wear, the value skyrockets because a perfect error coin is a paradox, a mistake created during minting that somehow remained pristine after entering circulation. Many beginner collectors do not realize that small differences in grade can change value dramatically, and that is why professionals always examine coins under magnification using bright lighting, tilting the coin slowly to observe luster flow, strike strength, and surface imperfections, and if a coin appears unusual or error-like, experts often recommend sending it to a grading service for certification because a coin placed in a professional holder with an official label instantly gains credibility, making it easier to sell for top dollar. Once someone possesses a rare 1990-60 error cent, the next step is deciding where to sell it to maximize returns. And in the world of rare coins, not all selling places are equal, so beginners must learn how the market operates to avoid losing money. Many collectors choose to sell through major auction houses that specialize in rare coins because these platforms attract wealthy buyers who compete aggressively for unique specimens, driving prices higher and ensuring serious bidding activity. But auction houses often charge commissions, so sellers must weigh the benefits carefully. Online marketplaces like eBay can also be useful for selling rare pennies, but only when the seller provides high-quality photos, clear descriptions, and proof of authenticity because the platform is full of inexperienced buyers and sellers, making it riskier for high-value items. Coin shows and numismatic conventions are also excellent selling locations where collectors can meet dealers face-to-face, negotiate prices, compare offers, and find professionals who can appraise unusual pieces. And these gatherings often lead to surprising sales because dealers often look for rare inventory to resell at a premium. Local coin shops provide convenience and fast payment, but their offers are usually lower because shops need profit margins, so beginners must approach them carefully and avoid rushing into a sale. Social media groups, rare coin forums, and private collector communities are becoming increasingly popular places to sell, but require caution and knowledge because private deals require trust and verification. For beginners entering the world of coin collecting, the best advice is to start slow, study error types, learn to differentiate between true doubled dies and machine doubling, understand the importance of weight, metal composition, luster, strike quality, and certification, and most importantly, develop patience because finding rare coins is a long-term journey, not a quick process, and those who consistently check their change. Search bankrolls, attend coin shows, and learn from experts. Eventually develop the eye needed to spot valuable errors that others overlook. Another crucial tip for beginners is to avoid cleaning coins because cleaning destroys original surfaces and reduces value severely, especially on error coins where natural surfaces help confirm authenticity. Beginners should also store coins properly using protective holders, soft flips, or archival safe materials to prevent scratches, tarnish, or environmental damage. The story of the 1996 penny supposedly reaching $6 million is a reminder that even the smallest mistakes at the mint, when combined with rarity, condition, and collector demand, can transform a coin from pocket change into a financial miracle, and even though such discoveries are exceedingly rare, the excitement lies in the possibility that somewhere in circulation or in a forgotten jar in someone's home, another extraordinary penny still waits to be discovered, perhaps in the hands of a beginner collector who took the time to learn, observe, and believe that rare treasures often appear in the most ordinary places. Next, 2005 mint mark D 1-cent coin, a coin that most people have handled countless times without ever imagining that one extraordinary error specimen from this year could command a jaw-dropping valuation rumored around $4 million in elite collector circles. And as we unravel this story in one continuous flowing paragraph with no breaks or interruptions, we will explain why certain mistakes on this 2005 D penny have stunned numismatists, how bizarre minting flaws transformed a simple copper plated zinc cent into a multimillion-dollar treasure, what kinds of doubling, striking issues, planchet errors, contamination anomalies, die deterioration patterns, and physical deformities make it extremely valuable, and how new collectors can learn to recognize subtle details that separate ordinary coins from life-changing discoveries while also understanding where to sell rare coins for maximum profit. How to avoid scams, what marketplaces attract serious buyers, and what beginners must know before stepping into the world of coin collecting. The 2005 D penny is often overlooked because 2005 was a high-production year at the Denver Mint with billions of cents struck at high speed, but high-speed production is exactly what increases the risk of errors. And that is where the story becomes fascinating because during periods of intense minting activity, presses often experience pressure imbalances, die fatigue, die polishing issues, feeder malfunctions, planchet inconsistencies, and plating defects that create rare and unexpected mistakes which sometimes survive inspection and enter circulation unnoticed. Among the rarest and most desirable 2005 D errors are the dramatic doubled dies where certain coins display doubling on the date, the mint mark, the motto "I in God We Trust," Lincoln's eye, the outline of his jaw, parts of Liberty, or the reverse lettering of 1 cent and United States of America. And although doubling from this year is generally subtle, there have been rumors of a few extraordinary pieces exhibiting unusually bold doubling caused by a misalignment during the creation of the working die itself, not from simple mechanical vibration, and collectors treat genuine doubled dies as holy grails because they represent a flaw at the die-making level, meaning every coin struck from that defective die carries the same rare pattern, making it significantly more valuable. Another factor increasing value on certain 2005 D pennies is the presence of large plating bubbles which occur when gases trapped under the copper layer expand or when the zinc core reacts chemically, producing blister-like raised areas on the surface. And while most plating bubbles are common and insignificant, the gigantic and oddly shaped ones, especially those resembling geometric patterns or occurring near important details such as Lincoln's portrait or the date, become highly collectible. And if such bubbles appear together with other errors like doubling or die cracks, the combination can create a coin so unique that it becomes nearly impossible to price using normal standards. Some 2005 D cents also show massive die cracks where the working die fractures and leaves behind raised lines or jagged ridges across the coin, and although die cracks appear frequently in low-value coins, extremely large or dramatic cracks, sometimes referred to by collectors as lightning cracks, because they resemble bolts streaking across the coin, can add significant value, especially when they affect major design elements like Lincoln's head, shoulders, or the lettering on the reverse. There are also coins showing die chips that create raised lumps of metal within the design, and on 2005 D pennies these sometimes appear inside Lincoln's eye, ear, or beard, or on the reverse inside letters like OA or C, creating unusual shapes that collectors nickname based on appearance, increasing desirability among those who seek quirky and rare die chip variations. Another fascinating category is off-center strikes, caused when a planchet does not seat correctly between the dies before striking, resulting in a coin that shows 5 to 70% off-center impressions, and the most valuable examples retain a full date, because an off-center penny with the date visible is far rarer and far more appealing. And when such an error occurs in combination with a mint-state grade and heavy eye appeal, collectors compete aggressively to acquire it. Broad strikes add another layer of rarity. These occur when the retaining collar fails, allowing the metal to expand wider than normal, creating a stretched, soft-edged coin that looks dramatically different from a regular cent. And even though many broad strikes exist for other years, the 2005 D broad strike with additional errors, such as doubling or die misalignment, becomes exponentially more valuable. In extremely rare cases, transitional planchet errors appear, where a coin is struck on the wrong metal blank, perhaps one intended for a foreign coin or from leftover stock, and such mistakes create coins with incorrect weights or unusual ring tones when tapped, making them instantly recognizable to experienced collectors, though extremely scarce for 2005. Rumors persist of one such specimen that may have been struck on a foreign bronze planchet, and whose discovery among collectors sparked the multimillion-dollar valuation due to being effectively one of one. Another important factor boosting value is the coin's condition, because even the most extraordinary error may lose substantial value if heavily worn or damaged, whereas a pristine mint-state specimen with errors becomes a treasure beyond comprehension. And this is why collectors emphasize proper handling, storage, and grading services. Coins with rare errors should always be examined under magnification to check for luster flow, strike sharpness, metal texture, and unusual surface features that might indicate a valuable variety. And when a coin appears promising, sending it to a major grading service for authentication is crucial, because professional certification dramatically increases buyer confidence, making it easier to sell for maximum value. For anyone fortunate enough to possess a 2005 D penny with a rare error, the next step is knowing where to sell it to achieve the highest possible return, and options vary depending on experience level and the coin's desirability. Major auction houses specializing in rare coins attract wealthy collectors who compete fiercely for unique pieces, often pushing prices far beyond initial estimates, but sellers must consider commission fees. Online platforms like eBay allow broad exposure but require careful presentation with high-quality photos, accurate descriptions, and proof of authenticity to avoid misunderstandings, fraud attempts, or undervaluation. Coin shows and conventions provide opportunities to meet dealers in person, negotiate directly, and compare multiple offers in a single day, often resulting in excellent deals for sellers who understand the market and know the true value of their coin. Local coin shops offer convenience and immediate payment, but beginners should approach them cautiously because shop offers are usually lower due to resale profit margins. Social media and specialized online groups can also be excellent selling environments for rare coins, but they require trust, experience, and secure payment arrangements to avoid risks. For new collectors entering the hobby, the best advice is to start slow, study error types, learn the difference between true doubled dies and machine doubling, understand why metal composition matters, and get comfortable using magnification tools to inspect coins properly, because developing a trained eye takes time and practice. Beginners should also avoid cleaning coins at all costs because cleaning destroys original mint surfaces, reduces value, and often makes authentication harder, especially on error coins where natural texture is key to confirming legitimacy. Proper storage is essential. Using protective flips, capsules, or safe archival materials prevents scratches, humidity damage, and corrosion, preserving the coin's value long-term. The tale of the 2005 penny reaching a rumored $4 million reminds collectors that even modern coins, even recent decades, even ordinary-looking pennies can harbor extraordinary value hidden beneath their copper surfaces, and the possibility that another rare error still lies unnoticed in everyday circulation creates excitement for beginners and experts alike. Proving again that the world of coin collecting is full of surprises waiting in pockets, drawers, rolls from the bank, or forgotten jars in someone's home, and the thrill of chasing these rare finds is what makes the hobby so captivating and full of endless potential. Next, 2013 Mint Mark S 1-cent coin, a coin that most collectors know only as a beautiful proof minted specifically for special sets, yet whispers in elite numismatic circles hint at something far more extraordinary. A single rare error specimen from this year that reportedly reached a staggering $7 million valuation due to an astonishing minting mistake that transformed it from a standard proof penny into a priceless collector's dream. And as we explore this story in one endless, flowing, uninterrupted paragraph, we will dive deeply into what makes certain 2013's proof cents so valuable, what bizarre errors have been documented or rumored, how proof coins can develop unexpected and dramatic minting mistakes despite strict quality controls, what types of doubling, strike-through errors, unfinished dies, planchet defects, cameo anomalies, polishing overstrikes, edge flaws, die deterioration patterns, and unique surfaces can make a single specimen worth millions, and how beginners can learn to identify valuable clues while also understanding where to sell rare coins for the highest possible price, what marketplaces attract serious buyers, and what steps new collectors should take to avoid scams and maximize their chances of finding rare treasures. The 2013's penny, unlike circulation coins, was minted at the San Francisco Mint as part of special proof sets, meaning each coin was supposed to be made with sharp strikes, mirror-like fields, and frosted devices created through a meticulous process of die preparation, laser frosting, and hand-polished planchets. But even though proof coins are produced under strict supervision, perfection is an illusion in the world of minting, and mistakes can still occur at the earliest stages of die creation, planchet preparation, or application of cameo frosting, giving birth to rare anomalies that slip through inspection and become legendary pieces once discovered by collectors. Some of the most valuable errors associated with certain 2013's proof cents include doubled dies, where the doubling appears prominently on the date, the S mint mark, the motto "I in God We Trust," parts of Lincoln's bow tie, details in his beard, or the lettering on the reverse, and unlike circulation coins where mechanical doubling is common and usually worthless, doubling on proof coins is taken extremely seriously by collectors because the dies used for proofs are created with far greater precision, making genuine doubled dies far rarer and far more desirable, especially when the doubling is strong enough to create crisp separation between the doubled lines. Another rare and shocking error seen on some 2013's proofs involves the frosting application itself. For example, certain coins show incomplete frosting where only parts of Lincoln's portrait appear cameo, while others show excessive frosting, frosting applied unevenly, or frosting that extends beyond the intended design elements. And because cameo contrast is one of the defining features of proof coins, any unusual cameo pattern, such as partial cameo, reverse cameo, deep cameo inconsistencies, or mismatched finish on obverse and reverse, can skyrocket the value of a coin, especially when the anomaly is visually dramatic and extremely rare. There are also rumors among advanced collectors of a 2013's penny exhibiting an extraordinary strike-through error, where something physically came between the die and the planchet during striking, leaving behind a permanent impression of whatever material interfered with the strike, such as a fiber, cloth fragment, polishing compound residue, or even a stray metal shaving, and on a proof coin. Where perfection is expected, such a dramatic and rare strike-through would become an instant centerpiece for high-end collectors who prize uniqueness above all. Another category of rare errors includes planchet defects, such as incomplete plating, microscopic fissures, alloy streaks, or tiny bubbles beneath the surface that distort the coin's luster, and although such errors are extremely uncommon on proofs, when they do appear, they create coins with unmistakable visual signatures that experienced collectors immediately recognize as potential treasures. Some collectors have also reported unusual edge anomalies on a few 2013's proof cents, including partial collar strikes, slightly misaligned edges, and improper rim formation that gives the coin a subtly uneven contour. And even though edge flaws are not always dramatic, their presence on a proof coin, which is expected to be flawless, can attract enormous interest. Another rare and fascinating possibility is the existence of transitional planchet errors where a coin may have been struck on a leftover or incorrect planchet, such as a foreign blank or an experimental test piece. Although this is extremely rare for 2013, the fact that proof coins are struck in controlled batches means that if such an error did occur, it would be almost guaranteed to become a multi-million-dollar rarity due to being essentially one of a kind. One of the biggest factors behind the rumored $7 million valuation for the rarest 2013's error specimen is the coin's pristine condition because unlike circulated coins, proof coins are expected to remain nearly perfect, and a dramatic error preserved in flawless condition, deep cameo surfaces, mirror fields, sharp strike, and full details, creates a paradox. A major mint mistake preserved with unimaginable precision, something collectors consider the highest level of desirability. For new collectors hoping to identify valuable 2013's pennies or any rare coins at all, the most important step is to learn how to examine proof surfaces carefully using proper lighting and magnification, looking for doubling, anomalies in the cameo frosting, unusual textures, spots, strike irregularities, or anything that looks out of place. Because one small detail can be the key to discovering a rare treasure worth thousands, or even millions. Collectors must also learn the importance of grading services because having a rare proof coin professionally certified can dramatically increase its market value by adding credibility, authenticity, and official recognition of the error type. Once someone possesses a rare 2013's penny, knowing where to sell it becomes crucial, and the most profitable places include major auction houses that specialize in rare coins and where wealthy collectors compete fiercely for unique specimens, often pushing prices far beyond expectations. Online platforms like eBay can also be useful but require high-quality photos and careful descriptions to attract serious buyers. Coin shows and numismatic conventions allow sellers to meet experts face-to-face, compare multiple offers, and negotiate in real time. Local coin shops provide quick sales but usually offer lower prices due to resale margins. And dedicated coin groups on social media can also be lucrative but require experience and caution to avoid scams. For beginners entering the hobby, the best advice is to study error coins, learn to differentiate proof anomalies from normal appearance, avoid cleaning coins under any circumstances because cleaning destroys surfaces and kills value. Store coins in protective holders or capsules, keep proof coins away from moisture and fingerprints, and take the time to learn from experts, because the more knowledge you gain, the better your chances of finding rare treasures hidden in collections, proof sets, or forgotten drawers. The story of the 2013's penny rumored to have reached a $7 million sale is a powerful reminder that even modern proof coins minted in the digital era under strict quality control, can still produce astonishing errors that slip through unnoticed and eventually become some of the most valuable numismatic treasures in existence. And the possibility that more rare proof errors remain undiscovered keeps collectors searching with excitement, patience, and hope, knowing that life-changing finds can appear when least expected, hidden inside proof sets stored away for years, waiting for the right pair of eyes to reveal their true value.